Hello, people. What is going on? Monday afternoon, transfers, gossip, and more. Before I get started, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to E20 TV if you want to. But last night, loads of rumours and everything. But Osman was the man who's the talking point of the conversation today. Had a big debate last night on a space, and I don't understand where people are getting this sort of like penny pinching from, like on youngsters and things like that. Really don't. Like I see other players going to other clubs, and I'm thinking, well, why ain't West Ham getting this done? It came out last night that basically Sullivan is got an advisor, and he's basically his advisor turned around and said there's too much money for Osmond. For me, that just tells me all I need to know because they are trying to do what they do every single time in every single transfer, trying to lowball the situation, trying to bully the other sort of club into resisting and then getting the man. Now, I will get to the chat shortly, but for me, Osman's the guy. He's the one. He's the one that we should be going after. I'm not convinced on Jota at the minute. I really am not. Yeah, I think with Jota, you go from Celtic to Saudi, that just says one thing to me: money. Yeah, it doesn't say like about ambition or wanting to do well for yourself or anything. Do you know what I'm saying? But Osman, for me, 19 years old, he's got flair, he's got power, he's got pace, he's got everything that you want in a counter-attacking player. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, he's the guy. He really is. Uh, Early doors football TV. Hope you're well, man. Hope you're all good. Glenn, hope you're well, mate. I'm okay, mate. I'm okay. I'm not gonna sound great because I'm not. Bit down on a few things, but you know, life goes on. It is what it is, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, no, it's a dodgy agents fee. Two agents involved when it should only be one representing Osmond. Yeah, but one of them agents is an ex-West Ham player. How about that? Daryl Powell. Remember him back in the day? Yeah, he's one of the agents. Boys like Flair, Paqueta. That's what I'll say on that one. You know what I mean? Uh, hope you're well, mate. Afternoon, James, and all in the chat. And Lawrence, hope you're good, mate. And all. Kev, afternoon, James. Hope you're well. For me, when I do look at sort of the situation currently right now, for me, Jonathan Rowe is the guy. Really, if I could go and handpick one player that I would say is the player for West Ham, Jonathan Rowe would be that guy. Yeah, I think what he's doing at Norwich is borderline unreal. Do you know what I'm saying? And he reminds me so much of Eze and Elise. Like if you looked at them two players rolled into one, it reminds me of Jonathan Rowe. And Jonathan Rowe's not really getting a lot of mention, really. Whether or not it's because Norwich are looking to try and keep him and stay in the league, and not stay in the league, get out of the league to go into the Premier League. I don't know, but Jonathan Rowe is that sort of person for me who I do look at. But when I do sort of go back to the Jota situation, and I said this on Twitter earlier on, funny enough, right? When you go from Celtic to Saudi, it's a bit of a low ambition move, right? It's all about money there, yeah. And at 23 years old, it shouldn't be about that. I don't know why it's like that for, but you know, it is what it is. I got I don't know what that was there. I'm sorry, but balloons started appearing. Do you know what I'm saying? Whatever happens on that. Um, hit the like button, a share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, mate. I'm from a balloon. Will, I don't even know what happened there, mate. I really don't. All of a sudden, like balloons started appearing out of nowhere. So I've got to check this, mate. Honestly, nothing else starts appearing. But now, listen, I'm going to get your questions in, get your comments in. Tell me what you think on today, like on the players, like, and I'll read them out and see if I agree or disagree with you. But yeah, like, listen, I look at Osmond. Right, I start off with Osmond. Yeah, when I do look at him, and people say, "Oh, look at the league he's in and everything else," I'm like, you can't really keep judging players for what leagues they're in. Do you know what I mean? Like you just can't because like that way the only players we'll ever sign is leagues in like France and Spain and the mainstream sort of leagues. For me, Osmond has come through the Right to Dream, that sort of foundation, I think it is, or scheme from like Ghana, and basically he's gone down the Kudus route. And I don't when I look at him, I think, you know what, 19 years old, he's £20 million. Yeah. It's a lot of dough, don't get me wrong, that they want. But we could get that back and even up if it doesn't work out. Yeah. You could get that back. Or you take a sort of minimal loss on it. This geezer, who Mark Noble and Steiden are both wanted, I ain't going to turn around and say, no, he's not all that. You know what I mean? I trust Mark Noble quite a lot in players. Yeah. He was the one who sort of looked at Alvarez to a point and said Alvarez wouldn't be a bad shout for West Ham. And he's another one who's pushing this one. Like he's pushing the sort of move for this one. And what I'm liking about West Ham, they're all pushing the move, but this advisor, whoever he is saying no. Now, this advisor needs to shut up, really. I'm not going to lie. James, getting excited with all these signings. I think we get 2 signings, if I'm being honest. If you want me to be truthfully honest, I think 2 are going out. I think Fornells is going. I think Ben Rama will be loaned out somewhere. I think Jota would happen. I'm not convinced on him though. I know people are getting a bit giddy about the song and everything, and what he did at Celtic. But when you look at Celtic and you look at that league currently right now, what league would you compare the Scottish league to in the Premier League? Like as in the English sort of league? I wouldn't compare it to. Is it a Championship level? Really? Is it or is it? Yeah, is it Championship level with just 2 Premier League teams in there, like Rangers, Celtic, and after that, the rest of them are just not all that. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but we're gonna have a look, see what everyone's got to say. Happy Hammerette, hope you're well. 2 days remain. I think we really had the opportunity to get ahead of the other teams this window with so many other competing clubs being fucked off by FFP. Shame we haven't taken advantage of it, to be honest. I know. People are moaning about FFP with West Ham, and like we can't even get an £18 million player in. So I don't know what's going on there. Unfortunately, I can't be here for long. My lunch break. Take care, James. Take care, man. Van Dijk played for Celtic. Yeah, but it's different players, though, mate. Come on, like you can't keep saying Van Dijk played for Celtic. Edward, who played for Celtic, who currently plays for Crystal Palace. I don't want him being centre forward at West Ham. Do you know what I mean? So it all depends, really. It's horses for courses. The only issue I have with Jota, for me, basically, is why would you leave to go to Saudi at such a young age? And people say about money. Now, if he's driven by money, he's not the guy. He's just not the guy. If you're going to be driven by a pound note, that's not the move. Do you know what I mean? When I look at Osman, I don't see Osman driven by money. I think he wants to come to West Ham to prove himself and be the player he wants to be. With Jota, for me, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying it. He might be a decent player for West Ham, and I could be completely wrong. But on this one, I just think West Ham are taking a bit of a risk in bringing this geezer here, and he could be another Anderson type player, who loves the London lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Oh yeah, James. Hope you're all good, bro. I think we should be going all out for Jonathan Rowe, a proper winger who looks really, really good. I've been saying about Jonathan Rowe for a long time. Yeah. And when people say to me, "What do you know about Jonathan Rowe, James?" And I say, "Well, I know quite a bit. I speak to a few Norwich fans, and they're mixed to a point. But when I do look at him, I think, yeah, he could suit West Ham down to the ground. He carries the ball well. He's got pace. He scores goals. He looks quite decent. And he's young and he's British. So the British homegrown quota sort of thing will come into play there. For me, Jonathan Rose is the ideal sort of left-sided player that West Ham want. But I think West Ham are going down a different route and leaving him till last, really. Like, we've had links to Clark, that's gone dead. Rowe's there. I think Rowe's there, the backup plan. If West Ham can't get Osman, and if Jota fails to come through, I think they will go after Rowe right at the death and get him. Like, I think West Ham will pay the money, get Rowe out of Norwich. West Ham have always done good business with Norwich over the years. Like Dean Ashton come from Norwich, Robert Green come from Norwich. So they've got quite a good relationship with that club. So if they say to West Ham that they want X amount of pounds for Rowe, I hope Sullivan don't just go in there and go, right, they want 20 million for Rowe. Here we go, we'll give you 13. Because you're just going to piss them off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand with negotiations, don't get me wrong. And in life, you've got to negotiate, whether you're buying a house, car, anything, right? You've got to, like, to try and get the fee down. But there's getting the fee down, and then there's insulting the people straight away that's going to get their back up. That to me is just, isn't right. It is true, James. Man City could lose a lot of points for FFP. Yeah, good old Man City. You know what I mean? I actually don't mind City. I will say that. He's a classy player, homegrown. You know what you're getting. Plus, he's young, so suits all. I agree with Barry on that, mate. I really do. If we get Rowe and Osman, I'll be very, very happy. So would I, mate. That would be the perfect sort of two for me. And I think Rowe could come in and go right now. If I'm being honest, I really do. I think Rowe could sort of come into West Ham's team right now, and I think he would do a good job on the left hand side. Yeah. And if he didn't come in and start straight away as a sub coming on, you got pace on the break. Like what West Ham are trying to do, and this is one thing that we've noticed with West Ham over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, is we've lacked pace in sort of attacking areas. You know, got Bowen up there. Now we've got Kudus. Yeah, we didn't have Kudus last year, but we've got Kudus this year. For me, if we can get pace all along the front line, where once we turn over the ball and we get the ball out to the wide men, that is when we're going to be deadly. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just going to be an interesting one. Jota's on 200k a week, and we ain't going to pay that sort of dough for some George Michael wannabe when we've really got really good players in England. Yeah, shout out to Jota, aka George Michael. I will say that, the George Michael wannabe. Don't let the sun go down on Jota. all the Georgie Michael music's coming out. You got to have faith and all that. You know what I mean? Good to see Rowe could be going somewhere. It wasn't in the Norwich squad. It just gone. I said that the other day, Glenn. Funny enough, right? And then people come at me and say, "Oh, he's broke his hand. He's broke his hand," right? And I'm like, "Well, if you believe that, then you believe anything, yeah? Because if he is signed to a club in the next few days, then yeah, like." He didn't play for a few reasons. I think they didn't want to risk him in case he got injured, and then the deal breaks down. But I don't think Rowe's there at the end of the window. I really don't. I think Rowe's going. Right. I hope he comes to West Ham, because if he does, he'll tear it up. For me, Osman and Rowe, like I think Will said it just a minute ago, are the two that are the ones for me. They really are. Wake me up before you go. Let's get Jota in. I'm not convinced on old Jota, mate, but Georgie Michael reincarnated is coming back. Hi, James. I will compare the Scottish League to the Belgium or Turkish leagues. Best wishes from Bangkok. See, I agree on that. Like, there's two good sides, really good sides in the Scottish League: Celtic, Rangers. And if one of them wins the league, the other one's failed. Yeah, and vice versa, the other way around. That's why I'm just not convinced on Jota, mate. I'm not. I just look at him and I think I can see all the goal reels going through, goals going in all the time. Yeah, from when he's like scoring goals for Celtic. But who's he playing against? If you're playing against mediocre sides like St Johnston or fucking St Mirren, yeah, you're gonna look good. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a think. I could put Ben Rama up there. He'll look good. Do you know what I'm saying? So you've got to be realistic in your approach, and to go from Celtic to Saudi to possibly West Ham. Not only just come to West Ham, if he's coming on loan with the money that we're going to spend for him, he's going to be starting games. Is he ready to start in big games for West Ham, like, and do the job? I'm just not on it. I'm not on it. I just think with Osman, he's more raw. He's more sort of fearless than this geezer. I don't know why. He really is. Hi, James, mate. Personally, can't wait till the transfer window is over. Most links to players are media bullshit. I completely agree, Steve. That's why I don't only come in here and discuss what I believe is true. Afternoon. Hope you're well, mate, wherever you are. And George Michael has been reincarnated by Jota. Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, for me, there's also another link that's come out today with Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. Now, that link was mentioned in the summer. Obviously, Chelsea were looking to get rid of him with a few other players, and it seems to appeared again. What I'm liking is West Ham are going down the younger route of players and like English homegrown sort of talent. For me, I look at this with West Ham right now. It's a big window, big window. If we're going to do something this year, and we're going to finish top six, or we're going to try and get to the final of the Europa League, we're going to have to bring in better talent. Yeah, and for me, Rowe, Osman, then Jota would be the ones. I'm not on the Jota vibe. I really am not. Snazzy Azzy, hope you're well, mate, wherever you are on this planet. Afternoon, or enjoyed the space last night, Jimbo, versus the world, but the man always sticks by his guns. That space was mad last night, I will say that. I do good spaces. I'm going to say that. Yeah, people who think I have people on there who talk shit, I don't. I wouldn't sit there and do it and waste my time. I do good spaces, and anyone's welcome to come on and speak on my spaces on Twitter. Yeah. So when I was doing the space last night, what I don't get with certain sections of the fan base is they moan about not buying youth players or not giving youth a chance. We're going out and we're sort of umming and ahhing over a few million for a player that all of our recruitment want. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really doesn't. Do you know what I mean? If you want the player, just get the player. It's as simple as that, right? And there's been times before over the last 10 years where West Ham have gone in for a player and then lowballed the situation and then failed to get the player in the end. Yeah. In the end, the player decided that he's not wanted, he'd go somewhere else, etc. Now, off the top of my head, I can't really name players, but I remember it. I remember, let's put it like this. I remember El Nesri back in the day when El Nesri was like looking to come to West Ham, and we put a bid in, but the bid was so far lower than what their asking price was, and it was an insult bid, really. Do you know what I'm saying? But Luke, hope you're well, man, wherever you are. So yeah, listen, I look at it like last night's space. I will speak about it right now. It was heated, but I will stick to my guns on this one, like 100%. I know if Osman comes in, he will tear it up. Fact. I'm not bullshitting when I say that. I think he's young enough to learn. I think he's got someone there in Kudus that he can look up to. I think coming to the Premier League, and people look at his stats currently right now and go 22 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists, 16 starts. Yeah. I get them stats are not good, but it's not to say that them stats can't improve massively with better players around him. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got mistakes in him, and I've seen some of the stuff that he does, and sometimes he runs into sort of blind alleys and things like that, but he can learn from that. But I'd rather have someone here who's 19, who's here for 5 years, who we can get the best out of, who's not really driven by money, rather than someone who is technically driven by money by going out to Saudi. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Chalobah, I remember when he used to be Funk Soul Group back in the late 70s, mate. Take me back to the 70s. If I wish I was born then. Do you know what I mean? This day and age, unreal. Could Osman be loaned if we also get Jota? I don't know, mate. I think West Ham are going for 2 for 2. Some people are saying basically that Ben Rama's not leaving. Yeah, they don't. People think that there's no way he can leave. He's going to leave the club because no one's going to have him. I think Ben Rama goes late into the window. I think a club will come in and West Ham will go, right, let's get him out and then let's get a loan in. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Jota in, Ben Rama out, loan in, loan out. That's what I think it is. But I do think the Usman deal needs to be done. Like that is one that is sitting there. I look at Brentford, they've just signed the Norwegian lad, 25 million, didn't question it, loaning him straight back to Bruges. Like a player that I looked at, I thought, wow, I'd love him at West Ham. And West Ham, I'm in an iron over this. Do you know what I mean? So, Usman deal broke down because of a legal agent demanding 7 million commission. Yeah, but don't believe everything you hear, John. That's what I'm going to say. Because last night, a Danish reporter come out on Twitter and corrected Darmashev and said that, like you're saying, he's got 6 months left, when in fact his contract doesn't run out till 2027. Do Do you know what I mean? And Darmish had to redo his tweet and say, "Oh, well, mate, I got that a bit wrong there." Do you know what I mean? So one of them's an illegal agent, the other one's Daryl Powell, who's ex-West Ham. So if they can sort it out, and I think they will get it sorted out. But it's whether or not West Ham are prepared to pay the money for this geezer. That's another thing. Like it always seems to be around money every single time with West Ham. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like I'm not asking them to go out and spend 30, 40 million on this guy. Do you know what I mean? But this club are not going to let this geezer go for nothing. And it seems like people will go, you know what, we can accept, like, we're West Ham United, right? We're European champions, we're in Europa League, and then people think we'll go and put in a £6 million bid and these clubs are just going to take it. They ain't going to take it. Do you know what I mean? Another window, still no sign of a true number 9. I think they're waiting to the summer on that, mate. If I'm being honest, that one is I don't know who they're going to bring in on that. Right, it wouldn't surprise me if they went after sort of Solanke. Also, it wouldn't surprise me if Victor Boniface, I think his name is, from out of Leverkusen, wouldn't surprise me with him. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. But I think more to the point, we need to know who the fucking manager's going to be. Like, that's more to the point. Like, because how can a player sign for a club if they don't even know who the manager's going to be in sort of 6 months? Like, so yeah, that's going to be a tricky one, honestly. Benny's going late in the window, James. There are only 43 hours remaining. Not that I'm counting much. You know what? I'll be glad. I'll be glad when the window's done, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I do. I think Ben Rama's done at West Ham, honestly. Like, really, I truly do. I think it's been coming for a little while, and I think really the end is that's it. I think it's just done with Ben Rama. Jota's not played since September, I think. He still has more games times than Osman. You know Moyes won't play Osman. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Well, how does that happen then, Fresh? Like, how does that happen? Like, if he ain't played since September, so he's going to take about, fucking hell, how long is he going to take to get up to speed? Fucking hell. So that's 4 months now he hasn't played. So it's going to take him about 2 or 3 weeks to get sorted out. So I don't know. I'm not convinced on Jota. I really am not. If we could pick any player to get in, I would say Dan James. He's a decent player and quick as lightning. Not good enough for me, mate. Not good enough for me. When I look at other players, obviously Clark keeps getting mentioned every single time. Yeah, and Clark's decent enough. I've always liked Rowe. I've said Rowe is a decent player. I'm glad West Ham are sort of swerving away from is it Gnotto at Leeds. I'm glad that one's just like dying a death, really, because I don't want Gnotto in the team. His attitude's poor. When a player looks to sort of put in a transfer request, the moment a team gets relegated, I remember Jermaine Defoe back in the day doing that. It's just not a good move. It really isn't, and it shouldn't be like that. So, you know, problem is 2 agents are involved in the Osman deal. One, West Ham's get rid of a fella. Yeah. Well, let's have a look. Lingard had hardly played in 18 months before we got him. I know what you're saying there. I know what you're saying, but it's a bit of a risk when you've got a player who's never played in the Premier League. Like, Jota's never played in the Premier League, has he? Do you know what I mean? You've got a player who's come from Celtic, and then if you look at the Celtic League or Scottish League, yeah, it's a 2-horse race every year. Yeah, there's no one else ever in the race, ever really, unless Aberdeen have an amazing time. To go to Saudi when you played 5 games, scored 1 goal, and you're in a league where there's about 600 people watching you, and then coming to the Premier League, you're probably going to be starting games because let's be honest, if he comes in, if West Ham change systems to a 4-2-3-1, which I do believe West Ham will do that with Phillips, then he's going to be playing on the left. So how can you go from that to that to that and expect top class performance? As long as the West Ham faithful can give him time to sort of adapt, then that's all well and good. But you know, can they? Afternoon, Lee. I hope you're good, mate. Wherever you are, Lee. I hope you're good, mate. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's it. So let's have a look. What we've got here. As I say, chuck in any questions that you want to ask, anything that's on your mind, and I will read it out. But as I say, with Ben Rama and Fornells, it's going to be sad when Fornells goes. Don't get me wrong. He's not been my biggest of sort of, how can I put it? I think he started off well with Pellegrini. Yeah, I think when Pellegrini sort of moved him about, he was all right. But over the last sort of 18 months, just hasn't been really that good, if I'm being honest. Afternoon fever, afternoon all. I think we both are gambles. We need a left winger to balance this team. Yeah, I agree with you. Dwayne, I hope you're well, mate, wherever you are. Definitely a risk, mate. Totally agree with you. Just got to fear Moyes will take time with Osman like he did with Benny. I don't know though, Fresh. I don't know on that. I really don't. Because when you've got three, four people all wanting the same guy, you've got Moyes, you've got Steiden, you've got Noble, and there's someone else who I'm forgetting. I can't remember who the fourth guy is. Yeah. Then that just tells you all you need to know. If they're all in sort of agreement that this is the guy for them, I think he comes in and I think he starts on the bench and I think he comes on as like an attacking threat. Because let's be honest, if Usman comes on with 15 minutes to go, that's not a bad sub to bring on for a counter-attacking like team that we are. West Ham are a counter-attacking side. Yeah, people don't like to admit it. They say low block team. Yeah, but West Ham do have chances. They do score a lot of their goals from counter-attack plays. So when West Ham suck a team in, and you've got Usman on one side, Kudus on the other side, and then you've got either Paqueta or Bowen, like 10 striker, that to me is like, yes, now we're cooking. Right, now we've got pace on both flanks. Teams won't press us as much because they'll be fearing the counter attack. And I do think if he comes in, I've said it to the boys last night on the space. Now, get on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, come on the spaces, you can have your say, right? But I said it last night. If he turns up and he cooks, I will be coming for it. Everyone who was on that space last night, and I will have a hit list, 100%. It will be an epic. And where is he? Tom, you missed a good space last night, mate. If you'd have come on it last night, it was powerful. Trust me. Oh, it was me. It was me against the world. As good as Jota's not on. Jota's not on 200k. It's about half that. It's a lot of dodo, mate, isn't it? Let's be honest. But with Calvin Phillips, someone said it to me earlier on. With Calvin Phillips, he's a proven Premier League player who's done it at City and he's done it at Leeds in the Premier League. I don't think Jota's worth that. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem with a lot of players from the Saudi League. Their wages are going to be so high. I don't think teams can match what they can do. Do you know what I mean? Because if the Saudi ain't going to pay them, we're going to have to pay them. So, whoever comes in, I'll be happy with the choice. Yeah. Stuart, hope you're well, mate. I don't think the number 9 is a priority anymore. Where does Bowen play if we get one now? Kudus is on the right. See, I agree with that. I think Jared Bowen is the centre forward for West Ham. When Antonio will come out and we put Jared Bowen in there, I turned around and said this is going to work wonders for West Ham because with Bowen he's relentless, pressing all the time. Now the only problem is with Jared Bowen is does he go missing in games when he ain't getting the ball enough? Yeah, and people do notice it. He's up front. He's not getting the ball. Moyes will change it around, put Kudus up front, and then him on the right. Bowen gets the ball all the time. And he's Jared Bowen, that sort of player that needs to get the ball to make things happen consistently. Yeah, possibly. But as a centre forward, I think he's done really well. Really well. I like the way West Ham press from the front. I think when you've got Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta all sort of consistently on the move and no one's walking about, that's always a sign of good for me. Jota's issues are taxes as 50% would go to the HMCR. I think that's HMRC. If he comes back, fair enough. We've got Steiden might hope for. What's that? Maybe Steiden hopes Usman would replace Kudus in time. I actually think he could do, but I do just think Usman is there. Right, he's there to be developed. And what someone said last night in the space, and I make him 100% right. I had a Ghanaian sort of person come on the chat last night on the space. And they turned around and said, what West Ham are trying to do is they're trying to get Usman before Usman becomes Usman, so to speak. And in regard, what he was trying to say was that West Ham have got Kudus, the Kudus now. They've paid the money for for Kudus right now, who is what he is. But if West Ham would have seized the moment and got him a few years ago, you're getting Kudus before he becomes Kudus, basically. And that's what he's saying about Osman. Get him in, mate. I'll do that now. I just believe this geezer's going to do it. Osman is a mess as West Ham started dealing with this new agent who does not have legal binding contract with Osman. The real agent has taken legal action as 7 million is up for grabs. Doesn't matter, mate. Get him done. Danish FA would also block any deal involving a new agent. Get him on loan till the end of the season until it gets thrashed out. Because what it is, otherwise, West Ham, unless Usman buys up his contract, he can go on a free then. I feel like Fornals will join my Spanish team, Betis, and we'll get Usman potentially staying on loan. Ben Rara stays until the next window and get Jota on loan. Don't forget, Saudi windows different. Yeah, I agree with Big Mig. Shout out to Big Mig, mate. I hope you're doing well. The Bergwijn links have gone quiet now. Never believed them, mate. Never believed it at all. Like Stephen Bergwijn, people. I remember him at Spurs. He wasn't even all that. Like I'm being real. Like, yeah, not for me. Not for me. I like to see Rowe over Jota. I agree on that. I really do. And I think Rowe will be the last resort. I think if West Ham don't get Osman because of what people are saying about the agent, and Jota becomes a issue in regards of the fee, loan fee, or whatever, or the taxes, I think West Ham will go after Rowe right at the end. I think, and someone wrote an article, I think it was Damien Lucas, I think it is his name, if I remember rightly. He wrote an article. I read the whole article, and it was brilliant what he sort of writ. And he turned around and said that you can see Ben Rama heading out on loan, probably up to Everton or somewhere like that. And then basically we will go after Rowe. And I think if that happens, then it's a good deal. I think Ben Rama needs a change, and we definitely need a change. Unless you enjoy watching unless you enjoy watching a full-grown man falling over himself, you can't want Bambi back. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I think he's on about Antonio. Let's have a look. Get down here. Ben, 18 million fee agreed with the club, but 7 million in agents' fees lies the issue. I think the agents' fees will get sorted out. They will become to some resolution, because if there isn't, then they've got a player there that they can't shift and ain't going to get no money for. So I think it will get done eventually. It really will. Right. Spurs were offered Kudus 4 seasons ago for 8 million, and they turned it down. See, that's a prime example. That right there. Yeah. Where, and then people bring up Brighton quite a lot. Now, Brighton go out and they get Matoma, I think, for 3.5 million, 4 million. And it doesn't sound a lot of dough, but if you keep buying players and they're not working, then you're going to get the ump eventually, yeah? West Ham have been offered this player for stupid money, really, right? 20 million, is 20 million a lot of money for a youngster? I think it's the max. I think it's the max for what he's done. Yeah, I don't think it should be any more than that. But I just think, when I just look at him, I think he's just everything that he built for West Ham. Even a loan for Osman would be involve agents' fees. Basically, Osman and the two agents need to sort it out. Well, one of the agents, as I say, is Daryl Powell, who's ex-West Ham. So I think he might try and push this through. I don't know who the other agent is. Whoever the other agent is needs to be sacked as soon as possible. Saudi window opens later, and Benrahma could be sent back in return for Jota, an overall deal to FFP to the rescue. Yeah. Do you reckon he would go to Saudi? I don't know. I don't know whether he would, mate. I think Benrahma would. I think Benrahma might end up in the Premier League somewhere. He could end up at a club that we've already played and all. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. Could he go to Brentford? That'd be interesting. Because what people said was, obviously Brentford have signed that winger now for 25 million, but loaned him back. Would they loan Benrahma to the end of the season? See how he gets on, and then that way you've got one winger already sort of bought and paid for, and he's on loan. And that's one thing West Ham don't ever do. West Ham don't ever loan a player back to a club and allow him to sort of develop. West Ham have to buy for now, which is mad. Chalobah would be a smart sign on loan with an obligation to buy. I totally agree on that comment, Jay Woods. Absolutely agree. I've always liked him. I think Chelsea, when I look at him at Chelsea, there's levels, yeah, and I don't think he matches Chelsea's level, but I would definitely have him, mate, 100%. Now, every time I've seen him play, he always plays in the back three, which is a bit baffling, but I do like him. I do like Chalobah, I really do. Considering how much money we have lost on Anderson, 20 million on a 19-year-old relatively below risk, as inflation will guarantee a certain return as he gets older and more Premier League proven. See, absolutely spot on comment of the day from that gentleman there. That is what I was saying last night. And what you've just said in writing. So shout out to you on that. That's exactly what I was saying. I don't think £20 million is a lot of dough for a player that's only going to get better. I think he's going to get better with better players around him. I think he's going to learn a lot more. But people look at what he's done now, like 22 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists for Osman. Isn't good reading, don't get me wrong. Well, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't look great. But if he had amazing stats, he wouldn't be coming to West Ham. It's as simple as that. He wouldn't be signing for this club. So, you know, like sometimes you've got to develop players. It seems like West Ham are scared to develop players. But because back then, Ajax developed him. Better choice to go to Ajax, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. Jota is on 10 million a year. That works out 192k a week. That's the only thing. That's another good comment, by the way. Yeah. That's the only thing that does me with Jota. Yeah, is the money side of things. There's going to Saudi, and someone said it to me earlier on Twitter. There's going to Saudi for 10 times your wages. But then there's going to Saudi at 22, 23 years old. Yeah, I'm thinking you do 10 years of hard graft and like wanting to try and win stuff, going to Premier League, going to the best leagues in the world. Yeah, whether it's the Premier League, La Liga, German league, etc. Right. One thing that does me with Jota is you're going there for basically for the money. Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to grab this money now rather than do me time and learn me trade in all different leagues and all that. And that's the fear I do have with Jota. I think sometimes I do look at him and I just, he just doesn't do it for me at all. So 20 million for Benny versus 25 for Jota, 2-way loan, cancel wages. Yeah, I know, it ain't going to happen though, mate. Tax-free only if you stay for a substantial period of time. Wow. Who's me? That is mad, isn't it? When you think about how much money that they've done, I will say that. Before I sort of come towards the end, put in your sort of final comments, questions, how many signings we get in. What are you saying in regards of the window so far? Obviously, it's been a good window in regards of getting Calvin Phillips. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing him on Thursday night. I really am. People are saying that he's getting dropped for Edson Alvarez. He's not getting dropped for Edson Alvarez, mate. I'm telling you that now. Mark my words on that. He's not. Because Alvarez is Alvarez are going to just springboard this team. That's one thing I'm going to say. They're going to springboard this team. I know Thomas Suchek gets a lot of stick, but I think Thomas Suchek's going to be selected for certain games, like against different teams. Like if you've got a team that's coming in, going to consistently throw balls in the box, I think Suchek plays. But I'm looking forward to seeing Calvin Phillips and Alvarez together. I think both of them are going to be exceptional for West Ham. I really do mean that. And I'm excited, especially for that midfield. If we can just get a left-sided player in, if not two, then West Ham season could end up being a really, really good one. Do you know what I mean? Nice one, James. Glad I caught you live for the first time in ages. No worries, Fresh. No worries, mate. I hope you're well too. I don't think we assign anyone else, unfortunately. I think we have to, mate. If this season ends up being a sort of season where if we go February the 1st and we've only signed Calvin Phillips, I'm gonna be a bit It's going to be 50-50 with me in regards of how I can see the season going. I think with Phillips, I think we can get top six. But I think if you want to try and win the Europa League, you need more firepower in there. You need to get rid of some deadwood. You need to bring in firepower of like Rowe or Osman or Jota or whoever. Yeah. Just bring them in, get them like climatized with West Ham, and then we go again. I think what it is with West Ham currently right now, there's a lot of players in positions that if one of them goes down, we're knackered. We are really knackered in that sort of position. The left hand side is a bit of a problem for me, major problem for me in regards of Emerson. Emerson is a really good player and rate him so highly, but if he goes down, then we've got no left sided player, not one. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's being sort of overlooked quite a lot by a lot of sort of supporters. Yeah, they're seeing the wingers and all that, but with Emerson, I'm a bit nervous, like, because I think he's going to have to be really, really looked after from now to the end of the season. Because if you take him out and put Aaron Cresswell in, who I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised he's still here. Then you've got to ask yourself questions of what's going on there. Do you know what I mean? Because like the standard goes from like that's your standard of Emerson to, and then your standard drops like a rock in water. Do you know what I'm saying? I think the midfield's sorted out now. Like Phillips, Alvarez. I'm so excited for that one. I really am. But you know, funny one to think about Souček is our poor man's Dion Dublin. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I've got to be honest. I think Souček deserves a bit of challenge, so to speak. People have said that James Ward-Prowse could come out, which I don't believe so. I think what I think West Ham currently right now is going to. I think West Ham are changing the system, and I'll be very shocked if he plays Alvarez and Phillips in a three-man midfield. I just don't see it. I really don't. I think West Ham might be looking to change system and going 4-2-3-1. I think with Phillips and Alvarez as two sort of midfielders, I think we've got two very, very good midfielders in that sort of middle of the park there, like shielding and passing and everything. And when you've got Alvarez, who's technically very good, Phillips, who's technically very good, I think 4-2-3-1 comes into play there. Now, the question is, who goes as the 10? Do you go Lucas Paqueta as the 10, or do you keep Lucas Paqueta on the left-hand side and where he works so well with Emerson, that sort of benefits us? Or do you sort of push James Ward-Prowse into a 10 role where when he was at Southampton, that's what he used to do quite a lot. He used to go like push a bit further forward. He was never a DM. Yeah, especially, and I'm so glad West Ham have realised it now that a two-man midfield of Souček and Ward-Prowse doesn't work, right? So I think with Ward-Prowse, he's a sort of player that you can push further forward. He can score goals. He's a benefit to the team more than Souček. And people say Moyes won't drop Souček. I actually think Moyes will. I'll be very, very stunned, yeah, if Phillips doesn't play on Thursday night and then he plays in Manchester, I can accept that. But if Phillips doesn't play at all and Souček's playing every single game with Phillips and Alvarez and Ward-Prowse is getting dropped, that's when it'll baffle the life out of me because I think, well, what are you trying to do to us? Do you know what I mean? And that could write Moyes completely off, in my opinion. It really could. Let's get to your final comment. The Brest guy is not senior games under his belt, not many at all. I think we are waiting for Fornells or Ben Rama to leave. I think both of them leave, mate, if I'm being honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Barry, you're good, mate. I agree, James, mate. Benny needs replacing. Rowe is the man. And Fornells going should allow for to come in on loan. I'm not sure who that geezer is, but I think it's a South Korean. Pac-Man should be the 10. You know Moyes will keep him out on the left wing. But what it is with Moyes, and I understand this, I don't want to make this about David Moyes, but obviously for the purpose of the conversation, if he's doing well on the 10, if he's doing well on the left, keep him out there. You know what I'm saying? I think the only way that changes is if we can bring someone in this window and change the system. I do believe West Ham are changing the system, though. I really do. Like, it's either going to be like a 4-4-1, like 4-1, maybe, like a 4-1-4-1 formation. But I think West Ham might be going 4-2-3-1. I think they're going back to sort of type. And I remember that system a few years ago when he brought in Lingard. They changed system. They had Rice, Souček together, which, fair enough, it isn't. It was good then, obviously, because we had Deck in the side and everything. But having Phillips and Alvarez in there, yeah, one of them who's going to be the anchor and one of them is going to be the energy in there. So Phillips will be the energy. Alvarez will be the one who sort of shields the back four and like controls sort of that sort of path. And then you've got the four-man attack, which if West Ham go four-man attack, then there's no excuses for lack of decent football. Do you know what I mean? The problem is where people moan is because of the style of play. Now, if he changes his system, goes 4-2-3-1, brings a left-sided player in, pushes Paqueta as a 10, then there's no questions then. Like, West Ham are cooking in a good sort of moment. But we will see. We will see what happens with that. Lee, hi, James. I've enjoyed your shows up the Hammers, mate. I'm glad you do, mate. Not a lot of people do enjoy my stuff. And yeah, it hasn't been a good time really for me personally, but it is what it is, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? What we got here, because he's back in training, James. I know it's good. It's good. I'm glad he's back. We need him back at the end of the day. And when he comes back, Bowen, I think we're going to have Bowen, Paqueta, and Kudus all ready to go against Bournemouth. I think we're going to do a demolition job on Bournemouth. I really do. I think when West Ham play Bournemouth on Thursday night, 7:30, I think the front three will be there, and I think we'll turn this team over quite convincingly. We've got three big, huge games coming up, West Ham. And for me, the Manchester United away game is going to be the one where I'm going to look at and think, if we go to Manchester United and pick up any sort of result on a Sunday, then I do believe top six is on. I really do. I strongly do believe this. Like, if we could get in a couple of players with Phillips, I can't see how West Ham are going to drop off. And I see people saying that West Ham are going to drop off towards the back end. Yeah, I just don't see it. West Ham used to drop off, but as I say, West Ham are built different. And last season's 14th place finish proves that it was a blip last season. There is no way anyone can say to me about last season that was just a one-off. Yeah, I don't see that happening this year. I think if we go on the worst run possible, we'll probably finish 9th. Yeah, but if West Ham spin it around and start picking up wins and being a bit more positive in their play, the highest I think West Ham can go is probably 5th. I don't think we'll get 4th, but it wouldn't surprise me if we finish 6th. It really wouldn't. I said it at the start of the season. I'll never forget when I done a betting show at the start of the season, and I turned around and said, "There's 3 bets that I like with West Ham straight away." Even money for West Ham to finish in the top half was absolute printing money for me. Absolutely, yeah. I looked at it. I looked at the first game of the season against Bournemouth. I see the signings of Alvarez come in, Kudus come in. The moment we signed Kudus, I was all over the even money shot. I was like, yeah, this geezer will do it. Yeah. Then I looked at top 7, top 6, top 4. Yeah, top 4 was mental. I think it's like 33-1 or 40-1, something like that. Top 6 was 25. I think it was 25 or 22-1. It was mad, right? The top 6. And top 7 was something like 8s or 10s or something like that. It was in that sort of bracket range, yeah. And I decided to have small punts on each one. And I just think top 6 is there. I don't think top 4. I don't think we're good enough for top 4. I don't think we're consistent enough to win game after game to try and compete for top 4. But I do think definitely we're going to finish at least in the top 7, at least. So it's going to be interesting. We can't beat Bristol City or Sheffield United. You can forget top 6. Epic, I will be back at the end of the season to prove you wrong, mate. Because I said it at the start of the season, West Ham guaranteed finishing the top 6. And one result does not define West Ham, because I can say, well, look at the results that we have done. We're beating Man United. We're beating Arsenal. We're beating Tottenham. We're beating other teams. Do you know what I mean? If we're going to keep going down the route of being negative and saying about the Sheffield United one, which, let's be honest, did we deserve to draw that game against Sheffield United? I think we was mugged, completely mugged by VAR and the referee. But we go again, and we're going to go strong against Bournemouth, and I think we're going to get it done. Do you know what I'm saying? Stephen, I hope you're good, mate. Afternoon, James. Hope you're well, mate. I'm peachy, mate. Peachy. Life Yeah, he's one of them, isn't it? Phillips signing alone could change the course of our season. I believe so, but I do think we need a bit more firepower because if, as I say, Bowen, Paqueta, Kudus, Alvarez, Emerson, any of them go down for a period of time, then the season completely changes. Yeah, so I think we need some more sort of firepower up front or on the wings to get the job done. After we won the trophy 25-1 to finish in the top four this season. See, I know it was something like that. I think I got 33s, man, remember rightly? I have to double check. It was either 33s or 28s, one of the two, probably 28s, you know what I mean? But it was for me, it was a good sort of bet to have on West Ham. And I just strongly believe that we're going to do it. West Ham will go and draw against Sheffield United. Yeah, people will moan about that. They wouldn't surprise me if they go to Old Trafford and win. That's just the West Ham way, isn't it? So we will see what happens there. Right, I'm going to wrap this up there, people. I've been rambling on for an hour. You've had your say, and I'm going to say bon voyage. But I'm going to tell you what I've got coming up in the next few days. Me and the boys are going to be doing a video, recording it tonight. And the Traitors series on BBC was an excellent series. Right, it's one of the best shows that I've probably ever watched. Yeah, as in reality TV. I think the way it's structured is very, very good, and the way it's done is just superb. Yeah, I think it's a really, really good show. But I'm going to do the West Ham Traitors, right? And we're going to do like a tier list and talk about basically the worst traitors of West Ham, people who have left the club through good times and bad, and how they've jumped ship and everything. So check it out tomorrow night. It's going to be a video, it ain't going to be live, but I will say this: it's going to be fun, yeah, because there's been some traitors over the years. Paul Ince, absolutely, and also Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is going to be in there also. But yeah, we will see what happens there. I don't know why these images keep coming up on my StreamYard. That's quite interesting, but it is what it is. I've had balloons, I've had thumbs up, everything. But it is what it is. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you again in the next one. Take care of yourselves, everyone.